Greetings, this is Dr. Parham, and I want to just take time to talk to you just a little bit about the 5 C's to achieving your goals. 5 C's to achieving your goals. That's amazing. And all of us have goals in our life, and we want to achieve them. And I hope that you want to achieve each and every one of them. Whether you're trying to launch a business, get healthier, or learn a new skill, or simply become better version of yourself, the path from intention to accomplishment can feel overwhelming. And over the years, I've observed patterns in successful people across different fields, and I have distilled these into all what I call the 5 C's to achieving goals. That's clarity, that's commitment, that's consistency, that's courage, and then there's community. Let me start with the first C, and that's clarity. You can hit a target if you see it, but a target that you can't see, inevitably, you will not hit. This sounds obvious, but you'll be surprised how many people set vague goals like, I want to be successful or I want to be happy without defining what those words actually mean to them. Success for one person might mean financial independence. For another, it might mean making a difference in their community. Happiness for you might look completely different than happiness for me. That's why it takes clarity, mean getting specific. Instead of, I want to get fit, try this. I want to run a 5K in under 30 minutes by June. Instead of, I want to start a business, try this. I want to launch an online course teaching beginner photography that generates 5,000 in revenue within the first 6 months. Notice the difference. With clarity, you know exactly what you're working toward, and you can measure your progress, and you can celebrate when you get there. But clarity goes a little bit deeper than just specifying what you want. It also means understanding why you want that goal. When times get tough, and they will, your why is what will keep you going. If your goal is to lose 30 pounds, ask yourself why. It is because you want to be there or do great things with your kids while they're growing up? Is it because you want to feel confident again? Is it because your doctor gave you a wake up call about your health? That's why, and that why becomes your anchor when motivation fades. I want to take time to move a little bit further into the next C, and that is commitment. Commitment. Clarity without commitment is just daydreaming. And we've all had those moments where we have laid in the bed, imagining our ideal life, and many times in vivid detail. But how many of those visions actually materialize? Commitment is what transforms a wish into a decision and a decision into an action. Commitment means burning the boats. When the Spanish conquistador Herman Cortez arrived in Mexico, he reportedly ordered his men to burn their ships. The message was clear: there's no turning back. The only way forward is toward our goal. Now, I'm not suggesting that you make reckless, irreversible decisions, but the principle holds some truth. Commitment means you stop keeping one foot out the door. You stop treating your goal as optional or something you'll try to do, but you make up your mind that I am going to act accordingly to reach the goal that I've set for me. Commitment also means being willing to sacrifice. Every yes to your goal is a no to something else. If you're committed to writing a novel, that might mean saying no to binge watching a series of TV shows that you like. If you're committed to building a business, that might mean fewer happy hours and more late nights at the desk. People who achieve their goals understand you have something to shoot for. And if anything that you want in life, you have to get specific, commitment, and detail. Choices made can either break or make your progress. So make that choice to commit. It is what's going to help you maintain your strength and confidence as you reach your goal. When I think about the next C, that's consistency. This is where most people fail. They start strong, full of enthusiasm and motivation. But when the initial excitement wears off, and it always does, they stop showing up. But here's the truth: consistency beats intensity every single time. It's better to write 300 words every day than to write 5,000 once a month. It's better to work out for 20 minutes daily than to do a punishing 3 hour gym session once a week and then skip the rest. I believe it was called James Clear in his book, The Atomic Habits. He talks about the power of small improvements compound over time. If you just get 1% better every day, by the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better than you started. That's the magic of consistency. It's not flashy, it's not glamorous, but it works. Consistency, my brother, my sister, consistency also builds identity. Every time you show up and do the work, you're casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. If you go to the gym, you're casting a vote for being a better athlete. If you write, you're casting a vote to be a better writer and author. Eventually, these votes add up. Your identity begins to shift. You stop being someone who's trying to get in shape and start being someone who is fit. You stop being someone who wants to just write and become that author that publishes many books. But let me be clear: consistency doesn't mean perfection. You're going to have some days where you miss your workout or skip your writing session. That's okay. That's okay. What makes a difference, what really matters, that you don't let one missed day become two, then three, then a week. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to not let the exceptions become the rule. Let me get to the fourth C, and that is courage. Courage, man, wow, all of us need a little bit more courage. Courage to go after your goal. See, goals are worth achieving, and many times they also will scare you. If your goal doesn't make you a little bit uncomfortable, it's probably not big enough for you. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's reaction and moving in spite of the presence of fear. It's acknowledge that you're scared, but you're moving forward anyway. You'll never get to where you're trying to go scared. So let courage kick in and push you forward to the different stages and journeys of your life. You'll need courage to start because starting meaning putting yourself out there and risking failure. You never know how far you go until you step out. You need courage to persist when things get hard and everyone around you tells you to quit. You need courage to pivot when your original plan isn't working. And you need courage to finish actually and claim your success, because sometimes we sabotage because we reach our goals, because psychologists call the upper limit problems. So don't self sabotage. We make up our mind to succeed and consciously as well as unconsciously overcome the obstacles that oftentimes we try to create. Courage also means being willing to fail. In fact, if you're not failing occasionally, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. I believe it was Thomas Edison famously said he didn't fail to create the light bulb. He just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. And every failure is a feedback. Every setback is a lesson. But you need courage to reframe failures in this way so your mindset will stay strong. You can't let the failures define you, but you learn from your failures to become a better you. One of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself when you're afraid is, what is the worst that can actually happen? Often we shine a light on our fears. And when we shine a light on our fears, they lose their power. You might embarrass yourself every now and then, but you may even lose some money. You might have to start over. But will it kill you? We believe it won't. So don't have regret. Don't stop. Don't have the pain of the almost, but keep being committed to reach your goal and have the courage to do so. And finally, the fifth C, community. We live in a culture that romanticizes the lone wolf, the self made person who achieves everything through sheer individual willpower. But that's largely a myth. Behind every successful person is a network of supporters, mentors, collaborators, and even cheerleaders. You need that community. Community serves multiple purposes. First, it provides accountability. When you tell someone about your goals and what you're trying to accomplish and commit to reporting your progress, you're much likely to follow through it. It's easy to break promises to yourself, but breaking promises to others carry a social weight. That's why accountability partners and mastermind groups are so effective. See, community provides resources and knowledge, and someone in your network has already solved the problem you're facing. Someone has already made the mistake you're about to make and can help you avoid them. When you're a part of a community, you are not starting from zero. You're building on the collective wisdom of the group. See, community provides encouragement during the difficult times in your life. There will be moments when you want to give up, when you question whether your goal is even worth pursuing. During those times, have people who believe in you and encourage you that you can make the difference. They can remind you of how far you've come and why you started in the first place. But here's the thing about community, it's not just about what you can get, it's also about what you can give. The most powerful communities are built on reciprocity. Be willing to help others, share your knowledge, celebrate their wins, What goes around comes around. And the more you invest in your community, the more it will invest in you. So let's be clear. Let me bring it all together. The 5 C's of achieving goals: clarity, commitment, consistency, courage, and community. Get it crystal clear on what you want and why you want it. Commit fully to your goal and be willing to make the sacrifice. Showing up consistently day after day, even when you don't feel like it. Have the courage to start, to fail, to persist, and to succeed. And surround yourself with a community that supports, challenges, and grows alongside you. These aren't secrets. They are not complicated. But simple doesn't mean easy. The truth is, most people won't do this work. They'll just set goals starting January the 1st and abandon them by February. And they'll blame their circumstances, other people, or even bad luck for their lack of progress. But you're not most people. You are someone who is willing to do what it takes. Your goals are within reach. The life you imagine for yourself is possible. But it won't happen by accident, and it won't happen overnight. It will happen through deliberate, focused application of these 5 principles, day after day, month after month, until one day you look up and realize you become the person you always knew you could be. I want to encourage you to get my book, Unchained Potential to Rise Above. It's available on all the major platforms. It helps you with personal growth, discipleship, and help you to get to that next level in your life. Thank you for listening. And this is Dr. Arlen K. Parham. May God be with you.